Welcome to Miss.sheeena's world. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Buying $300,000 worth of luxury items and then returning all items, but instead of returning the item, you return dupes. Because that's what happened allegedly to this duo out of California with Nordstrom's. So they have been buying luxury handbags, cosmetics, clothing, returning to the store, to the distribution center, which is online, and getting a refund, but actually keeping the real items because they're returning dupes. The only reason why they got wind of this scheme was because they returned it to a location back in February, and the rep was like, this is counterfeit, this ain't our stuff, like, what's going on? So they, you know, you can pull up the history, the purchase history from whoever, for however far back it goes. This goes back to 2019. They have returned 224 items since 2019. 224 dupes, totaling over $300,000. And the crazy thing is, from February when they got wind of it up until April 22nd when they issued that arrest warrant, they had totaled an additional $30,000 worth of items in those 2 months with the ongoing investigation. Now they state that this is an ongoing investigation, but they do say it exceeds $300,000. So that's grand larceny. Yeah, they gonna sit down. It might not be 10, 15. They're gonna sit down though. They're definitely gonna sit down because this was calculated. You returned it to stores. You returned it to the distribution center, which is online. Yeah, and y'all been doing this since 2019. What? Oh, and it wasn't us.
What would you do if you ordered 4 designer bags, 2 designer pair of shades from Nordstrom's in Milwaukee? You return them the next day after receiving them from your online order, and they tell you that they will not be processing your return because they can't authenticate the merchandise. Mind you, it totals about $19,000. Yes, y'all. So there's this lady here on TikTok who ordered 4 designer bags, a Givenchy bag, a YSL bag, I think it was a Chanel little bag, and I can't remember what the 4th bag was, and then 2 pair of designer shades. She says she placed the order online. She received the order, but she didn't like any of the items that she received, so she returned them back to Nordstrom. For her, she said within a matter of days, she still had not gotten her refund. So she started reaching out just to confirm that they got the merchandise back. And they were like, yeah, they received the merchandise back and she should be getting a refund shortly. So she says about a week goes by and she still had not gotten the refund for the merchandise. So she reached back out for them to tell her that since they were not able to authenticate the items, that they would not be processing her refund. Excuse me? You won't be processing what? Absolutely not. So she was like, oh, no, this can't go down like this. So she's like, what do you mean you can't authenticate the stuff? These are the items that you guys shipped me.
How Nordstrom got scammers and or thieves. Okay, so. And she's not lying. I'm re-recording this video because last night I left out a few details. So on April 26th, I placed an order online for in-store pickup. I ordered a pair of shoes, a dress, and 3 pieces of jewelry. All the jewelry was final sale. They were under $6 or $7 a piece. So the dress apparently was coming from one location and the shoes and the jewelry were coming from a different location. So I was going to wait until all the items arrived for me to come and pick them up. So once again, I ordered everything on the 26th. That's Sunday. I picked it up on Thursday, and when I picked it up, it was at the end of the day. The store was closing in a few minutes. They brought out the shoes, the box with the shoes, and she opened it up to show me shoes that make sure they were in the right packaging and the right color and everything. Then she brought out the dress, and I said, well, what about the jewelry? She's like, jewelry? I'm like, yes, jewelry. And I showed her on the phone that there were 3 pieces of jewelry. So we checked the packaging with the dress. The dress was on a hanger in a garment bag. So it couldn't, you know, be in there. Then I said, well, maybe it's in the box with the shoes. So we opened up the box with the shoes. There was no jewelry. And I'm like, this is a problem. And they're like, oh no, just talk to the manager. I said, no, it's a problem because you've already marked me as picking up all 5 items. That's a problem. Right now, there's documentation stating that I have picked all these items up. And they said, no, just call the store tomorrow and we're going to take your name and give it to the manager. The next day, they said the manager works from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. So by noon, when I didn't hear anything, I called because the manager never called me. They transferred me to pickup and I spoke to this woman. She was an older woman. And she said, oh no, I remember that. That was canceled because it wasn't picked up. I said, how was it canceled? I didn't receive an email or anything stating that it was canceled, and I just ordered it on the 26th on Sunday. I knew something was up, but I was at work, it was busy, and I couldn't really get into it. And then I saw this video. So not only is there documentation stating that I agree that I picked up all 5 items, but the items cannot be returned. And the woman on the phone said that I was going to get a refund. It is Sunday. It's been 1 week. I picked the items up on Thursday. There is no refund. And I checked my credit card statement. There is no refund. Nothing processing. I called them and I said, is there a refund pending? They said no. So I'm going up to the store. I will be recording and we're going to see. I'm just going to ask for the manager, and if they give me any pushback, I can ask for the manager nicely, or I can make a scene and ask for the manager, because my next stop after this will be the local police department, which is literally down the street and around the corner. Now, someone may say, oh, you know, it was just some jewelry, it was final sale, the pieces were $6 or $7 each. Y'all see what that says? Y'all see what that says? It says Virgo. It says Virgo. And as Cardi B said, pretty and petty as I'm petty. You can steal from everybody else, but one thing you're not gonna do, you're not gonna steal from me. So I'm gonna let y'all know. I might go live, but yeah, they are scheming, they are scamming, they are stealing. All 3 S's: scheming, stealing, scamming. So I'm done with Nordstrom. If you saw my other video, the clothes in the store were crap. I'm gonna see if I can insert a photo of the items that I ordered, because like the dress was fire. Can't wait to wear that. But yeah, I'ma see y'all later.
Okay guys, so we just got out of Nordstrom after we drove 3 hours. After we have talked to the store manager, I talked to managers at customer service. We get in. She goes, I recorded some of it, so I'll upload that. But either way, she's like, we'll go ahead and just return them for you. We'll ship them off. Do you want to know what I think happened? I think they thought that I wasn't going to notice that they canceled the refund, kept the items, and didn't refund me. And didn't think I would notice a return. And then she didn't even return the 1 item. She's like, you returned 2 sunglasses? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh. And then she's like, oh, yep. Did she really think I wasn't going to notice I was missing over $19,000 on my AMX? Lady, hello? $18,578.55 for the 1. And then she accidentally forgot to return the glasses, which were $453.65. I have never in my life seen steering wheels moving down. Seen this at Nordstrom. I never come to Milwaukee, like, ever. I always go to Mall of America. Patty at Mall of America is fabulous. If you're ever in the area, she is the queen. Milwaukee Nordstrom can honestly kick rocks. That experience was terrible. I looked at the bags. I'm gonna upload pictures because I want to see them. And she was so unsure about letting me see them. I think somebody there was trying to keep the bags, cancel the return, and keep them for themselves. Either way, we drove 3 hours for her literally to be like, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and refund those for you. Like, I didn't have time to like get ready. I look like trash. That is the most insane thing ever. So yeah, Nordstrom, please educate your employees better. And if you're gonna take back items, authenticate them right away. And you can just tell. You can tell when a bag's authentic. You can tell when it's trash. Those were some of the most authentic bags I've seen in my life. I can tell when they're fake, okay? But anyway, don't ever make a return at Nordstrom in Milwaukee. After the day I had, I just stopped at Home Goods about this giant red bow because Home Goods has never done me dirty. Home Goods, I love you so much, and all your bows.
Okay. Oh, so what pretend this is a scanner. So, and this is my register screen. So I have the product and I scan, but I never sign on to the register, so it's not processing a transaction. So I scan the item, I remove the sensor, I box it.
Okay.
And then we have little stickers that we put on the item, so she gets that. Scan the item, remove the sensor, box it. So she goes through the whole processes, but nothing is ever registered on the register.
Why would she do that? So she knew she was on camera and she wanted to show that she was doing it?
Possibly for that. I mean, she never admitted to saying like, I know I'm on camera or anything like that.
Okay.
It's to get free merchandise essentially in the end. And what she would do with those, with that package is that she would send it out to our dock area, which is where we keep our, we call it COGs, customer owned goods. So those are items that then get shipped to customers' homes. We have a process in place where we're supposed to bag check employees and we're supposed to do package checks or any purchases that they make. So that is a loophole into that essentially. Upon further investigating her, we realized that on October 1st, she utilized a gift card from the original fraud refund where there was no customer, no merch present for a purchase with her discount included on that. And then as we were wrapping up the investigation 2 days ago or 3 days ago at this point on Saturday, Gareth, which is the AP agent, which is right here in the office, I asked him to do a live surveillance. Upon doing a live surveillance, we watched her for a majority of the shift, and we did have her selecting Skims lingerie PJ set and 2 Dior items, so one women's Dior fragrance and one body cream, and then we also have the same thing as well too, where she is mimicking the transaction, but she's just wrapping it up and sending it to the back. Since I was here, I went to the dock area, confirmed the items inside of the box, took a picture of the receipt to confirm that it's the same address that is on her file, and it's her home address that she's sending it to under someone else's name. A few hours ago, we wrapped up the interview admission upstairs, so I started it off with that, and then Neil helped close out the interview. In the interview statement, Sally Kutcher was it took her a while to open up to anything. She was giving a lot of pushback, saying that she has a lot of mental issues, and that she can't even remember what she ate this morning, so that it would be very difficult for her to even remember what she did on Saturday. But she did at least recall the 3 items, the Skims and the 2 Dior fragrances that did go inside of that box.
Did she admit that she mimicked? Did she make any kind of admission to doing anything improper or illegal with those things?
No. So what she had mentioned was, oh my God, did I forget to pay for those items? So that was kind of like her statement to us, and she swears that she paid it. She swears that she has the money for it. We asked her why those items were being shipped to her, because essentially she was saying that this is for a customer for her, and she said that she's shipping it to her because this customer lives 3 houses down from her, and then she personally hands deliver it to them, and that customer will pay her for that merchandise as well too. So it's kind of like a handoff so that the customer doesn't essentially need to come into store.
All right, so before I speak to you, right, I'm going to read something. Basically, your rights.
I'm not, I have to pick up my daughter, I have to go class, I'm just going to try to do fast. That's all I ask.
Okay.
I don't care what that, but she a childish